Hello and welcome to another episode of An Echo of Glory. Hold on to your hats once more. We've got some stuff to talk about. And joining me to do so, Adam Nathan, hello.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
I have to apologise in advance to, I think his username is FSANC, because I'm back in the black, unfortunately, back in the all black, the funereal black.
Yeah.
After my brief frisson with some dark navy last week, we're back in the black.
Yeah. And Jake Sanders, hello.
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
Good.
Little Echo secret. What are you pointing to, Ad?
New follower.
Oh, new follower. Oh, Craig Pankhurst. And what a guy as well, Craig. Great on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter, Craig Pankhurst.
Go Bills.
Is that some NFL thing?
Yeah.
Little secret. Me and you, second time we've seen each other today. We're a little bit later today.
That sounds a bit weird.
Yeah, well, hang on. Busy morning at Launchport Studios. Adam and I have recorded a Liverpool preview with friend of the show, very much friend of the show, his fourth appearance, Jamie Carragher. That was a good chat.
He was great. Really
he was
enjoyed
great.
it.
So that's going to come out later this week on Wednesday. A really good chat with Jamie Carragher about Salah, about Liverpool, also about Spurs, his thoughts on Frank, loads of stuff. So let's look out for that later in the week. Fourth appearance for Carragher. I didn't want to say, I think that's now one more than own goals you scored for Spurs. But I think that's where we're at.
He's high up on the list, isn't he?
I think he's our most used guest. And as one of the top pundits going, that's, it's good, isn't
Pretty
it?
good.
Yeah.
Did he get any deliveries from
No.
Amazon this time?
No, he wasn't at home this time and had to leave to answer the door. But he was doing it from Sky Studios before he goes on Monday Night Football. So that was good. Look out for that. Other bits of club news first, before we get into it. Ready?
Don't know what I'm expecting here.
Well, there was no game for the 18s, no game for the 21s. The women against Man United, who they have never beaten, 3-up with 15 minutes, well, not even, 11 minutes to go, becomes 3-1, becomes 3-2. And I was at work and all I could see was Sky Sports.
So was I.
I could just see the Sky Sports news.
It was on just after Spurs, weren't it?
It was live, but I wasn't watching.
Do you know what
it.
I had? So I had Spurs on my screen. I've got 3 screens, and then we obviously have loads of screens up in the office. And they had, when they have the scores up on a Sunday, they came up and it was like 3-0. I thought, wow.
Yeah.
And then when Spurs finished, I just checked and it was 3-2, and I thought, I'm just going to watch this and just see. And I think it was 82 minutes, and I watched about 30 seconds and said, there is no way they see this out. There was a goalmouth scramble, and it was just like they couldn't get out of their half. And I was like,
Jake, I wasn't even watching it. I said to the guy next to me, when it went to 3-2, I went, they won't win. United had 34 shots to Spurs' 5.
That's still a very good result, but obviously
it's a good result in isolation.
Under the circumstances.
XG people, I think United had a 4.7 and Spurs had 0.5 or something.
Thomas Frank would be proud.
Yeah, 5 shots. What a luxury.
Away from home.
That's got to be one of the biggest gaps ever in XG for a team not to lose, surely, in any football.
Good shout.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Other bits of club news, like I said, no game for the 18s, no game for the 21s. I don't think the seniors played today. Certainly were out there. Not sure they played any football. The draw.
18s actually, they got drew someone in the UEFA Youth League, was it?
Oh, they had their draw, have they?
I think it was Real Betis.
Okay. Didn't see that.
They don't play the last 2 games, which is a bit weird.
Because they're already through.
No, they don't play them. They only play the first 6.
Oh, they won't play Dortmund or Frankfurt.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
who knows?
I saw that.
The FA Cup draw, Villa at home. We talked about the teams we didn't want to get. And Villa was one of the teams we didn't mention. We don't really want them. But eyes on the club. 5:45 on the Saturday. Eyes on the club with ticket prices. What do we want? What do you think will happen?
Well, they preach about this sort of new post-Levy era, and I think this is a great opportunity to show that's the case. If it's category even C, then I think
Cannot
people
be any category.
Yeah, I agree. I think people will be furious.
30 quid adults?
100%.
That seems fair. It's a bonus game for them. Have you seen that the Shrewsbury owners have written to Wolves to complain about how cheap the ticket prices are for the game at Molineux, because obviously they're relying on the revenue.
Oh,
they're
that's
charging
amazing.
£10 for adults and £5 for kids.
Wow.
And apparently after sort of VAT and stewarding, there's nothing left for Shrewsbury.
And it's going to be a small crowd anyway,
Yeah.
isn't it? So
Well, yeah, it's a local-ish derby, but yeah.
I
Right,
promise.
if you're a Wolves fan, it might be a game you can go and watch to win.
Yeah, just to say to Vinay, who obviously is watching,
Yeah.
I promise, Vinay, I won't complain if you make the ticket prices £10 for adults. We won't.
and I'm
not
sure,
complain.
I'm sure Villa won't care.
No, they won't care.
But it's prime time Saturday night. Villa are going to bring 9,000. I know it's third round, but it's a good chance to make it a good atmosphere. I know it's a draw we didn't really want, but fill the stadium. I don't want to see 45,000 there.
Yeah, look, I don't
Feel
want to
it.
play Villa at home in the third round in terms of progression chances. I'd much rather go to that, looking forward to that, than Morecambe at home where you're going to score a Harry Winks free kick from outside the box that he doesn't mean and win 1-0, whatever it was.
Wait, does that mean Harry Kane's going to come on against Villa?
Did he come on and rescue that game?
Yeah.
Have I mixed up two
Tamworth,
games?
I think he came on. Was
No.
it Who did
No.
we have at home?
He came on against Morecambe. We were 1-0 down and he scored one of the three, and I think Mora came on.
And Winks.
Yeah, I think it was when Ndombele got booed.
It took forever to go
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He read the room well.
But we don't go to those games. We're not true fans.
No.
Remember that. Talking of true fans, I asked on Twitter, or the Echo Twitter, listen, this is going to be a slightly depressing pod. If you think this is going to be positive, turn it off. But otherwise, welcome and stay with us. The worst Spurs defeat. And we've had a few. We'll put it to the room. And
Performance.
worst Spurs performance.
Because we've had a few this season that were draws.
Okay, yeah. Well, worst Spurs performance in your lifetime, and we'll read some out later. Get involved in the comments. But let's go. The men, unchanged from the win against Brentford. Only the second time Thomas Frank has been unchanged between Premier League games this season. The last time he was unchanged was between City and Bournemouth. Maybe he shouldn't do that. We've asked him to stick with his team, but maybe he
should
shouldn't.
make changes.
Maybe stop keeping the same team, Thomas. Bloody hell. Thoughts on the team? Fine.
Yeah, I didn't want Bentancur to play. I think I said that I'm not a huge fan of this sort of formationless front four. I know that Moani is nominally off the left, but why are you putting your best striker out on the left to accommodate Richarlison? That makes no sense.
Preach.
I see we've sort of stumbled back into this Spence plays left back now, which doesn't work.
We've not really got loads of choice generally.
No, but I mean,
we could get a bit flexible. But
You could try something, heaven forbid. We've been talking about Van der Ven maybe playing left back for a period of time, but there's just obviously no interest.
Wait till over Christmas when Davis starts.
Yeah, it wasn't a Frank Sai team, but equally there are still a couple of bits that I would always go Bergvall and Tell, for example, over Bentancur and Richarlison.
Yeah.
Slim pickings.
You don't know what's going to happen when the team's announced. You hope and you pray, but sometimes with Tottenham, you can tell after 5 minutes what's going to happen. And we're all in numerous WhatsApp groups, Twitter, all saying you could tell after 30 seconds or a couple of minutes what's going to happen. I'm glad they had a nice couple of days off, but they were slow, they were lethargic. That chance where Forest hit the post, Forest found themselves on the edge of the area without having to do anything. Then the blokes unmarked should score, and you put in the group, are we waiting to concede here?
Well, I also said matter of time, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know when you watch Spurs, and I know we always say, the first 30 seconds, sometimes we win them games, very rarely. But generally, you just know. You're sitting there and you think, why am I even bothering? Because we're waiting to be beaten. Then it went 1-0. And it was like we were waiting to concede again. The only surprise was it didn't happen in the first half. We had one shot from Gray, and I know the goal was a mistake, but we were just surviving out there. We were existing. We were just existing in a game that we had to be there and play out, really.
We were playing walking football. It was passive. It was disjointed. It was sloppy. Let's talk about the first goal. 3 weeks ago, we conceded that goal in Paris. Name drop, saw Owen Hargreaves yesterday, and he said, what are they doing? I did a game the other week and you guys tried to do that and got away with it. And I said, was it Paris? He said, no, it was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So it was either Fulham, it might have been Copenhagen, we got away with it. And everybody groaned.
Mm-hmm.
The Tottenham groan.
The Tottenham groan. I don't know whether it came after Fulham or whatever, but it certainly came after Paris, where we'd all seen it fall apart. I think it was Vicario into Sarr.
No, Romero maybe to
Yeah,
Sarr.
Romero and Sarr.
Okay, but it was the same idea. Who do you blame? People go, I blame Vicario, I blame Gray. I blame Vicario, I blame Gray, I'm sorry. And I blame the manager because they're being asked to do that. Vicario can see the whole thing. He's standing in goal. He can see all 21 other players in front of him. Gray is a bit enthusiastic, wants it, been told that's how we're playing. Okay. There wasn't a situation there for me where Gray should be receiving that ball. Has football changed that much that is a pass? Why are goalkeepers why are we doing this?
It's quite a standard move, though, isn't it? Keeper to hold a midfielder who sweeps it out to a fullback first time. I think you do have to have that in your locker. You have to be able to play that sort of.
But we seemingly don't do it very well.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know where Porro was at the time, if he was in a position to receive the ball. Or,
It was Romero.
no, but just in general,
Oh, yeah.
that has to be a first-time pass to the right back or a first-time pass to the left back. But because it was the same goal that we scored against Man City away, wasn't it? The first goal.
Yeah.
Second goal, sorry, when Sarr nicked it off. It might have been Rodri or whoever played defence midfield that day. And it does look ridiculous. But I think you do have to have, you have to keep defenders honest or the opposition honest. You have to have the option to do that. But it did feel like Gray went and moved an awful long way to receive the pass when Van der Ven, I think as Jamie Carragher on TV said, Van der Ven's just there on the left-hand side, just knock it out to him.
Yeah.
A lot of it is sort of as if we want to play the right way without having any sort of idea of how to do it.
Did you think, I think you said to me earlier off air, Ad, I know you haven't seen the whole game, but yesterday, maybe to Jake as well, we tried to play the right way, but actually yesterday was a day actually for your away, grind it out, get your point or three and just come home. Like, we're all pushing for this style of football, but if Vicario whacks it up the pitch, no one's complaining. Just get out of dodge with a point in these situations. That's, I think, 5 errors from.
I actually make it more. I was chatting with.
Well, officially, Opta giving us 5 errors from
there's
goal.
Loads. There's so many which are not official, but like so many of the goals we concede are just gifts. Absolute gifts every week.
Officially, Opta saying only Wolves have conceded more goals from errors than Spurs this season.
That's in the Premier League, though, isn't it?
In the Premier League.
Because in the Champions League, we had like 3 against PSG and, so soft. In away games as well. Cannot be doing that, gifting a team a goal.
But we reacted really well.
We did. Gray had a shot.
Gray had a shot. It was a good hit.
The away fans look good, though, in their scarves.
Yeah, someone said on here they were swinging them around for 7 minutes. And you see some funny stuff on
Should
Twitter.
have been blindfolds.
Well, people putting them up going, well, thanks for the scarf, Tottenham Hotspur, in front of their face. Gallows humour, you have to have some of that if you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan. First half, 1 shot on target. Second half, no shots on target. That's what we do here.
I think that's actually, I was looking, I think it's either the 4th or 5th time under Frank we've had 1 shot or less under target target, which is 20% of his games.
First half, 1 successful ball into the penalty area. I couldn't tell you. That would have been the Gray shot. The crossing was terrible. The traffic cone was back to his best, but he didn't get much
He did
service.
this one thing in the second half, which I saw got clipped up. It was astonishing. It was a forward ball from, I don't know if it was Xavi or Kudus played it into him, and he had no one around him, and he tried to control it, and he played a through ball to the Forest defence.
Yeah,
it was astonishing.
You said last week, if we lined up against Inter Milan and they had Simons, Kudus, Richarlison and Kolo Muani, you'd go, that's a pretty handy front four. Yesterday, they were all terrible. Kolo Muani probably less terrible than the others, should be allowed to play up front, but that's not allowed. Another thing that Thomas Frank won't allow to happen, Randall Kolo Muani cannot play up front. Trying to think of a shot he's actually had in the Premier League.
No.
I'll have a look.
Yeah, me too, if you get there first. Well, okay, Slavia and Brentford shouldn't be the marker of, again, people on social media saying, I thought it would change around. Slavia and Brentford shouldn't be the marker. If he's going to
1 shot on target in 536 minutes.
Right, so that shows that it's not working. The system is not working. I'm still not at these players are rubbish. I'm still like, the managers are not right here. The system is not right. How do you have 1 shot against Dyche is a good manager. He's got a lot more nous than Thomas Frank. But against Forest, how do you have 1 shot? Goalkeeper making his Premier League debut, by the way, who looked pretty nervy against Utrecht, who were bloody awful on Thursday night. I watched that game. Not a very good goalkeeper. Is that coaching? You've got 4 pretty decent attacking players. Richarlison, whatever. How are we having 1 shot on target repeatedly?
I've said multiple times, I just don't see what the route to goal is or how they're even trying to score. And, against Brentford and Slavia, who both play quite an aggressive man-to-man system, they almost show you where the ball has to go because there's always a spare man. So there's always someone to play it to. Whereas any team that just sits off and says, well, all right, what have you got? It's just wide. Kudus, please. Oh.
Did we play that well against Slavia? I'm going to be the guy that says an own goal and 2 penalties.
We
was
created a
fine.
decent amount.
Against a bunch of clobbers, ultimately, who
Yeah,
just
it was-
came to kick us.
It was just fine. But they made it easier for us because they tried to match up and go man v man across the pitch, which actually suited us down to the ground, really, as opposed to making us break them down.
So do you think that he tried to play football yesterday, but actually probably wasn't the day for it, and he should have started with Paulinho and maybe been a bit more cautious, try and catch Forest on the break?
No, but the frustrating thing for me is, and you mention this a lot with other teams, and the one that sticks out in this specific fixture is Brighton a few weeks ago, right? Ran Forest ragged for 90 minutes, must have had 20, 25 shots, 1-2-0, could have won by way more. You telling me any of them Brighton attackers would get near our team?
No, this is
But
it.
that is where it comes down to the coach, because, you know, I'm not. I know you can sort of say, oh, this team against this opposition, but when it's teams that we are playing, when I'm watching teams against Fulham at home and against Forest away with much, much less quality, create so much more, that is ultimately down to the manager, because it's essentially you cannot get these players playing at the same level as these players against the same players. It's as simple as that. It genuinely is. You know, we watched like United last week could have scored 10 against Wolves, and we struggled to break them down.
This is it.
Like, these are the same teams.
I'm still torn between this squad's not elite, right? It's not, but it's got some really good players in it. Like you just said, I look at Bournemouth, Brighton, Sunderland. I don't want many of their players. I think Forest have got a good midfield. Sangare, Anderson, Gibbs White.
No. Forest are a good side. Forest will be, you know, way above where they are now. They've got a good manager and some quality in that team.
So, okay, are they attuned to losing? Are they still scarred by 22 league defeats? It's a lot of the same players.
Yeah, I've said before, like, I don't really. You could tolerate the lack of attacking prowess if we were really solid at the back, but we are just nothing. We're not attacking nor defensive. We're not proactive or reactive. We're not expansive or compact. We're like a soup made out of water, salt, and pepper. Like, there is just completely nothing there at all. I don't know if that's players who can't be bothered. I don't know if that's the manager who can't motivate. But there's just nothing.
As my dad said, good players consistently playing bad football badly. And he says there's only one reason. He's Frank out. Jay Crockett 80 says, are you guys Frank out? Me? Yes.
Yeah, I've been there since Wolves.
Yeah.
Like 100% Frank out.
Yeah.
You're pretending to be more than you are. You're doing it for the cameras, but I've seen the messages. You've wanted to give him more time than I have.
Because I'm nicer than you.
Yeah, that's true.
I am Frank out because I don't think it's going to work, which comes down to your question of giving time. I've repeatedly said I would be a great Serie A chairman, as you've said, the sign of any issues in 2 or 3 games in a row, I'd be pulling the trigger.
But fans forget, how the board look at it. We don't really know what's going through their mind, whether they're going to sack him now, whether they're going to give him 5 games. As a fan, you have to have some sort of hope. You do. You have to look at that and you have to go, well, this guy's performing well. We were really good here. This is working. We've got a few patterns here. And if you give him time, you can see it. After like 8 games, I was like, I can't. I'm hoping. It's hopeful football. It's like League 1, League 2 level.
Yeah.
It is hopeful football.
I think you're right, Ad. After Slavia and Brentford, I wasn't like, oh my God, it's all going to be fine. I was like, okay, he's picked that front 4. Siemens is in the team. It's gelled. Kudus looks like he's enjoying it more because he's playing with Siemens. Let's see what Sunday brings. Sunday was absolutely terrible. Again, getting your worst ever performance comments and we'll read them out. I am Frank out mainly because I don't know where this is pointless. It's pointless. We'll kick the can down the road until the end of the season and maybe get Pochin to lift everybody. And look, I don't think that works, but you can't bring Brentford here and expect it to work. I also don't think the players are playing for him. Rumours are
when you look at your entire squad, sorry to interrupt you,
Okay.
and you look at that entire squad, and we've had a lot of players play a lot of minutes this season because he makes a lot of changes. We're looking at 18, 20 players, right? How many of them can you honestly say are performing really well?
At the moment.
Like over the season. How many players this season have been above a 7 this season? You probably put Archie Gray in there. And
Generous.
maybe. Well,
Van der Ven and Kudus.
Yeah.
maybe. I think Gray's been okay generally. No one else. We're talking about a 7. 7 out of 10. 3 players maybe at a push that have been a 7 out of 10 this season. No one else.
Rumour has it there are some angry faces and voices around tunnel yesterday or whatever. You could tell what happens with the Spurs team when they start losing, they start kicking everyone. There's like some angry performances. They showed no real desire to get back in that game in terms of tactically.
They gave up after 2-0.
I think they gave up. Well, let's talk about 2-0 because that's pathetic. Sorry. How is Callum Hudson-Odoi scoring across from there? Again, we talk about pressing the wrong button on FIFA. It looks like Vicario pressed the come out button and by then it was too late.
That genuinely should have been like just an easy claim for a cross. Like you genuinely see that kind of thing every week in football, any level of football. Just stay on your line and you catch it. Hudson-Odoi couldn't believe his luck. He was like laughing to himself.
You can put it down to one of those things every now and then, but unfortunately, look, this goal isn't repeatedly happening, but too often, let's jump to the third goal. It's a good strike.
No, I'm not. I don't think there's anything wrong with the third goal.
I don't think he should save it. Again, I think he's stepped one step to the wrong place. I don't think he gets near it anyway. Again, I've name dropped Don Hutch after work yesterday. Your goalkeeper like a midget because he looks really small. He looks really small in the goal. He never looks like he gets near a shot from outside the box.
Someone posted yesterday on Twitter all the Premier League goals we've conceded this season, and someone like I don't know why he popped into my head, but like Donnarumma, I just was imagining Donnarumma in the goal and I was thinking he genuinely would have saved 10 of them. Genuinely 10.
But I'm told we don't need a new goalkeeper.
Like,
okay,
No, it's done now. We do need now.
I reckon 2 months ago he wasn't high on the priority list.
No, he's shot.
it's because he sort of he bought himself a bit of time with Everton, Monaco, and another game which I can't think of. 3 games in a row. Maybe it was Chelsea, but he is just a walking disaster at the moment. Like, he's just costing us for fun. You know, absolute fun every week now. There's a goal every week that he's costing us pretty much.
So, as I said to you earlier, he is worse off because he's trying to sort of look like a leader of sorts, which I respect it. And like, yeah, I'm not a big Porro fan, not a big Vicario fan, but those two, I think it's fair to say, are at least giving off the impression they're trying to front up and show some sort of leadership. They're both playing terribly, and you almost get more annoyed as a fan. Like, stop waving your arms around, stop getting emotional. But you do need someone in the team to do that. And, you know, someone like Van der Ven, who's not had a particularly good few weeks, is sort of keeping a low profile and not getting any stick for it, which is probably quite smart self-preservation from him. But I think Vicario is more annoying because he's making mistakes and looking like he's trying to shout at people. You just want him to shut up.
Yeah. George Pena says 9 clean sheets in all comps, I think, this season. He's gone high up the list now for me on priorities for next season. I just don't think he's good enough. Shot stopping is...
but shot stopping is... shot stopping's irrelevant because they're goalkeepers.
Correct.
They're all good.
That's baseline what they should be good at.
There's basically 0 bad shot stoppers in the Premier League because you can't play Premier League football unless you're a good shot stopper. You get the rare few. I remember that guy that West Ham signed a few years ago, Roberto, who didn't even... was never played in goal seemingly before he signed. But they're all good shot stoppers. They can all make quality saves. It's the mistakes. You get judged on your mistakes.
Yeah.
I've just mentioned him before, but Donnarumma, I've watched so much of City recently. He is so good. He can't even really play with his feet, but with his hands, no mistakes. I know he's a bit taller than Vicario, but he makes big saves. He comes for crosses. He commands his box, and you feel like he's never really going to concede a goal. Vicario's the complete opposite to that.
Yeah. So the Tottenham Hotspur that are good away from home have now lost 4 of our last 5 away games, or maybe even 5 of our last 6 away from home. I think it's 16 goals conceded in our last 5 away games. Okay, so we knew this was happening, but we're no longer good away from home.
And as a run of 3 games away from home, I know we got a point away at Newcastle, but I'm not sure you'll have ever seen us play worse in 3 consecutive away games as Arsenal, Newcastle, and yesterday.
And if you put PSG in there as well, we shit 5.
But this is it, because I want to break down these a little bit, because, again, people have said on messages, on the phone to a few people, on social media, even people at work who aren't Spurs, but you've been good away from home. I've been saying this since October.
The fixtures were soft.
But results have been okay. Everton, it's a great win. You break it down.
But even so, the fixtures have been soft. We knew that, Bar City. We knew that.
Brighton, we were good, but Brighton, you can be good against Brighton because they play one way and they will be open and you'll create chances. It's a good result. Everton's a good result. Since then, Arsenal 4, Newcastle 2, Forest 3. We're no longer good away from home. We're no longer good at home.
If you include the Newcastle League Cup as well, we were not great. Monaco as well. It's not been PSG. You know, it's been 2 months now where we've been rubbish away from home. 6 weeks.
in all competitions now,
7
Jake.
without a win?
It's 4 away from home. No, it's 1 win in 7. Everton, 4 defeats in 5, 16 conceded in 5. Yeah,
It feels very last season suddenly, don't it? Quickly.
and suddenly we're 25 games in, and they give him time crew, of which they're entitled to their opinion. But why? Is it an English thing? We all have to sort of queue up and wait patiently for things to happen. I think if this was on the continent, you'd probably be gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone's
the argument is always, well, who are you going to get? And I suppose it's not. I understand the argument. I don't necessarily buy into it because I think you just find someone. But I was thinking about this walking up today. The worry is that we had the who do you get conversation a few years ago. I think when Mourinho and Conte were who's going to want the job, and at that point, I still think Tottenham would have been probably the pinnacle job that most managers, other than about 10, could have got.
Yeah.
But after you make 2 appointments like Ange and Frank, who just lower the floor of the club, and someone like Areola 3 years ago, the equivalent Areola, would have jumped at the Tottenham job. And now I sort of think, well, why would he want this job? And that's a bit of a concern.
I disagree with that. He'd still want this job.
Maybe, but
It's the same with Glasner for me. People think, let's go after. Why would Glasner leave?
yeah,
now?
I'm just not sure that Tottenham has the same cachet as it would have done a few years ago because of the last 2 appointments they've made, and that is a real concern to me.
So we've got to wait till the summer for your mate.
Well, you've got one guy that desperately wants the job, but apparently he's not good enough
He
for
couldn't
it.
want to manage Tottenham more.
He is literally doing like
he
a
wants
tour.
to manage Tottenham more than Frank does.
Yeah, he's do a tour of any old Tottenham legend that he can
He's
possibly
there.
get his hand. He's got, Mauricio Taricco for dinner tomorrow night with a photo, Christmas lunch with Nuruddin Naybet. Yeah, he's seeing everyone he possibly can.
He couldn't. He's going to turn up to a game sooner rather than
You've
later.
got Poch pajamas. He's got Spurs pajamas. It's probably going to
It's a
happen.
match made in heaven.
It just even if it doesn't work, it just needs to happen for a lot of us just to, scratch that itch. And
Look,
he's comfortably, and whatever anyone thinks, he's comfortably the best manager we can get by a million miles. No, we can't get anyone on that level.
Xavi.
Why-
What's this geezer
but why
waiting
would
for?
Xavi come to
What's he
Tottenham?
waiting for?
Why
Is
would
he even a good
come?
manager?
He's not that bad. Oh, the
Why would he
tacticos will
come?
tell you his left back didn't do this, and he's
Do you know
still
I
won
think
La
we'd go-
Ligas.
Do you know I think we'd go after? You've mentioned him before. We'd go after if we sack Frank. Kieran McKenna. That's what I think we'd go after.
No thanks. Scaling up. Who's scaled up? Apart from Poch in the Premier League, who's really scaled up?
But who would want to come to us? That
Nah,
our
I
stock
disagree
is so
with that.
low. We're such a
But that's-
basket case of a club for the last 6 years
A
now.
manager would want to come in and go, I'll be the guy that makes you better. No?
Honestly, I don't even know. It feels like Frank's going to get sacked eventually, unless we turn it on somehow. I just don't know who. I don't even know who I would want. It's the same with the summer. I didn't desperately want anyone.
How does he turn it round? There's a poll on our comments here. Have you had enough yet? Yes, 79%. 4% no, he's building something. 13% no, I like punishment. So you can add those to the yeses, 92%. And 4% say bring back Levy. To the 4% no, he's building something. Go on then, tell me what he's building. But
That's Jake Robson.
yeah, that's Jake Robson on multiple different accounts. How does he turn it around? How does he keep his job ultimately if we think he's going to get the sack soon? I'm sorry, at some point he's going to get the sack. How does he change that?
Well, I don't really know, but the short term fix is a bit like, and you just got to find a way to win games now. Performances have become a bit irrelevant because the form is so bad, and where a bad, is it 4 games over Christmas? Liverpool, Brentford, Palace, Sunderland.
Yeah.
We're 4 bad games away from being 15th in January. Going into that Villa Cup, so would be 15th.
But
16th.
Jake with 5 points, 4 points off
but
fifth.
we've spoken to that. We've said that eventually
Well, we know
wipes out after 20 games. So the counter argument is, if we got 10 points from the next 4 games, or 1 or 4, which is not going to happen, we'd be in a pretty decent position in the league. But eventually you get to that stage where that is no longer, because it will be 10 points off 5th, 15 points off 5th, and we will be 15th.
We had this last year. We said
It's
it.
the same thing as last season.
Yeah. Oh, the goal difference is great.
It's the same thing. Yeah,
X number of points.
Go beat Liverpool, great. Go beat Palace, great. Then we'll start talking. Go beat Brentford, great. But I don't see, like I said about Ange this time last year, I don't see a way where this group of players under this manager can win consistent games of Premier League football.
Is it the players? Is it more? Is it everything?
the players have to take a serious amount of cop. I mean, they're not working as hard as they should do. Now, I know, they're not having the manager, maybe they're not, but if, have some professional pride. I mean, the work rate from yesterday and just the basics that they weren't doing yesterday, that's unacceptable, regardless of whether you like them. Don't like my manager. Oh no, what are you going to do? Like, go away, play football. It's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
At least try.
Do you trust the many people on that boardroom table to make the right decision?
No. There's not an ounce of football in that.
Where do we
boardroom
think
anymore.
they're at?
I believe the story.
If we got pumped by Liverpool, would they sack him?
I don't. It depends on the reaction. The fans have got
If we
a role
lost
to play.
3-4-0 at home on Saturday, which could happen. I know Liverpool are a bit of a
But it could happen, yeah.
all over the place. But if
Jake, I want you work in the press. You may or may not know this story that came out about after Arsenal. They sat down and went, "You can't play like this anymore." And ultimately, Fulham, I'm going to give him a little bit of leeway.
wait, the players sat down. And
No,
said,
apparently upstairs said, "You've got to change this. They're coming for you in a minute. You've got to change this." The next game was Fulham. Well, I cut him a little bit of slack because actually he picked an attacking team. They were 2-0 down after 5 minutes.
which wasn't his fault.
It kind of wasn't. They tried to be on the front foot. Danso tried to be on the front foot, letting the goal. Stupid from Vicario, who, well, we know, whatever. We don't need to talk about it again. Kind of cut him a bit of slack. So Slavia and Brentford was better, but
we can't judge them.
They
though,
shouldn't
'cause they're
be the
games
marker.
we thought we should win.
Maybe there are two good games in 10 that he said you get as a football club, whatever that was all about. But if I do believe that they sat him down after Arsenal and went, "You can't play like this." It could be bollocks. It really could be. But I think there's been a slight change in his outlook since then. Even yesterday, I think maybe they tried to play too much. Just were terrible at it. If they have told him this, then maybe they are onto him. And maybe they are saying, the rumours are, you go on social media again and it's like his job is safe for now. Just a defeat to Liverpool, you think he keeps his job?
I honestly don't know where they're at with him, because we were in the same position this time last season and we had Liverpool at home, albeit a better Liverpool team, this weekend, and this exact same weekend,
Was
right?
it?
It was the 22nd of December, because it's actually on my birthday.
Okay.
We always have bad results on my birthday weekend, so don't get your hopes up. And I remember thinking, that how can this guy keep his job? And then Ange did. I mean, it's slightly different because of the Europa League, but the reaction to home results is worse than any of us can ever remember. So,
yeah,
what are they going to, what's it going to be? More boos here and then, more, but I don't know. I don't really know where they're at. And it might be what we've all said. They're not going to sack him unless they've got someone lined up. So are they now waiting to see if they've got, are they in talks now? Maybe they're talking to a manager. Maybe they're
and because there is no one,
talking
maybe
to
that's
Oliver
why.
Glasner now, and then they're
you're
ready.
You're never getting in.
Of course, but you know what I mean. And then they're just ready to pull the trigger straight away, because look what happened with Poch. Mourinho was appointed the next morning.
Well, Conte and Nuno. They only got rid of Nuno because Conte.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't know. It's, Levy's no longer in charge. He would have been sacked after Fulham, I reckon, if Levy was in charge, because Levy would, especially with the low attendances for Champions League games, he'd be like, we can't have this at our home ground.
It's interesting you say that, because he was probably Levy's man. Levy was certainly here.
Levy's
at the
thrown
time.
a grenade and left.
He has, but
because
he's not Levy's man, you thought maybe they'd pull the trigger sooner. Who knows? I think it could also be because they've tried to, maybe Xavi, whoever, and gone, any chance, and they've gone, nope. So there's no one.
But it's such a key period.
I don't want Justin Cochran for 3 games. I don't want your Matt Wells,
He'll
Ryan
go
Mason.
with him, you'd imagine.
Yeah, possibly.
However will we cope?
Ange clung on because we were. I'll never forget this time last year. We're still in the FA Cup. Yeah, we haven't played any games. We are still in the FA Cup. Were we still in the League Cup at that point?
We were on for the quad.
Yeah,
the treble. Sorry, the league was gone. And do you know what was amazing?
No, in December we were still all right in the league.
Do you know what was amazing about that period? Is like we were still in both domestic cups, and we all knew as soon as that FA Cup draw got made and we beat United, and we knew it was Liverpool, we went in and it was like, yeah, but we're still in the Europa League, and the two. We knew there was literally no chance with the injuries that we were going to beat Villa or Liverpool.
But what do we know?
And we've got Villa again.
What do we know? We've
got Villa again.
Yeah,
so
how long does Frank get? You're still in this, you're still in that. I don't think staying in the Champions League is enough to keep the bloke. We're not winning.
We can't even win it. So
There's nothing on the season anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, there is.
There's not. What's
Come
on it?
on.
What's on it?
Well, we could if you keep
We're waiting to.
No, in fairness, I think we
experience,
could turn it around in the league, but I
course.
can't see it under this management. This is just like a drifting to 13th, 14th, as far as I can see, unless they make a big
But
change.
it's just a horrible place to be as a football fan when there's a massive inevitability about a season in December. Because there is, because we almost felt a bit like this under Nuno in sort of October, November, and then Conte came in and changed it. And it is not too late. It is not too late to change it. There is still so much up for grabs. The whole league is a bit mad. I saw a great tweet earlier which sort of summed it up. We beat Everton 3-0, who beat Forest 3-0, and Forest beat us 3-0, which sort of summed up the league. Anyone can beat anyone comfortably.
Yeah.
We're not a million miles away from anything. You get a new manager in and have an Ange or a Conte or a Mourinho. We've generally had a new manager bounce under all managers, even Frank for 3 games. And, you can sit here at the end of January and we can be 5th or 6th. The season is not gone. But under Frank, we are just playing out, which is what is going to be an early FA Cup exit, a last 16 or playoff exit in the Champions League, and a 12th place finish in the league.
I can't find it. Someone replied to one of my tweets yesterday saying that Frank has scaled up. We were 11th. We were 17th. Chill out, everybody. That's not. We should never have been 17th. Don't use finishing 17th as a marker for how good we are now.
Mad.
No, I mean, look. My serious concern is that I said this last year. Teams don't often flirt with relegation just the once. Now I know we still came 17th. We weren't that close to going down. But if teams that come up, if you get another year where you get a few Sunderlands and Leeds that look more competitive. It's not beyond the run's possibility we could get dragged into something quite uncomfortable.
We're lucky this year that they're again rubbish.
It's why I said I feel we could be Everton for a few years. I just picked them out as a big club that have had a few relegation fights. Why not? We're going to get comments. I know it's only 5% that are saying, I'm fine with him, he's building something. We're going to get comments about being called absolute miseries and we're still this and we're in that and we're only 4 points from this. The eye test says very, very different.
It's been 18 months of absolute shockers.
So maybe it is the players.
Shocker after shocker after shocker. Fans are just bored of these shit shows and being embarrassed every week.
Yeah.
It's boring now. How many times, when we mentioned this worst performance, how many times in the last 18 months have you finished watching a game and gone, that was dreadful? And we had 6 years under Poch where we hardly ever had that. And we've got, it's not 6 years of what we've had in the last 18 months. It's generally been complete and utter shit for 6 years. But the last 18 months have been horrific.
Yeah, 22 league defeats
under
in one season.
Conte and Mourinho had a few decent runs, but the last 18 months has been diabolical.
Since the Chelsea game. You taking out the first 10 games of Ange, yeah.
Yeah. We're talking, 2 years of absolute diabolical results, performances, losing comfortably against Forest, West Ham's, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So many teams who were bigger, better clubs than.
Yeah, it sounds arrogant, Jake, but
consistently
Tottenham
losing
should not be losing 3-0.
No, but I can accept losing to some of these teams.
It's the way you lose.
Some of them are really good, but it's happened constantly. We've lost 3 times in the last year to Nottingham Forest. 3. We lost them at the end of December. 3 times in a year to
It's
Forest.
also the way you lose. One shot on target against Forest is something else. Tottenham have picked up 22 points across their opening 16 Premier League games. Last recording for you at this stage of a league campaign in 08-09, which was obviously the 2 points from 8 game season.
Do worse than that caretaker that came in that year?
Yeah.
Imagine if Harry came back.
But at least Ben Davies came on. And I don't mean this as a criticism of Ben Davies. Those subs.
The worst I've ever seen. The worst triple sub you'll ever see.
So it was Davies, Paulinho and
Bergvall.
Tell?
Don't be ridiculous. He's not
Why
allowed
would he
to
bring
play.
him forward at 2-0 down?
I'm sorry. Davies, Bergvall and Paulinho 4. Putting you on the spot.
Bentancur, Spence and Richarlison, was it?
No, Richarlison stayed on.
Gray.
And then he took all the forwards off at one point. We had one Richarlison running around.
It reminded me of
island.
Amorim subs. That's what Amorim does when United are losing. Brings on like defensive midfielders and defenders.
Chucks Harry Maguire up front. probably be one of our best strikers. Okay, let's put that away. Yes, none of us want Thomas Frank anymore. We'd all love him to improve. It's not going to happen. Let's talk about worst Tottenham performances. Yesterday for me was up there because we couldn't pass the ball to each other. Looked like they never met each other. So we talked about it. I'll ask you guys in a second. I'm going to bring up some here. A couple of people said yesterday, probably recency bias, but Bayern, Gogan, who said here, let's see what else we got. Newcastle away, 5-0 down after 20 minutes. A few people have said
Stellini away.
Including
Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah. George Pena says, what else do we have here? There was a good one.
That feels
here.
like the worst performance ever. It can't get worse than that.
There's a really good one here from This Is Sammy. Brighton away 2019, spectacularly bad.
Was so bad.
Added context of a romantic long weekend on the south coast with painstaking negotiation to score the necessary consent to go to the game. Should have stayed in the spa. To then witness an classic disaster class, genuine Spurs vintage. Sammy also says, we'll also throw in Middlesbrough at home 3-0 in September 2002.
So
I was at a wedding.
Zero job.
Yeah, I was at a wedding that day. Truly terrible. Barely one cohesive move. Everson, I believe, playing left wing back. The age of Asimovic, atrocious.
Wait, that Brighton game was...
It was 3 days after Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
What was the score?
We lost 7-2 to Bayern, then 3-0 to Brighton. Lloris did his elbow, I think.
Did a
first
Vicario.
minute,
It was,
We were all on the train down thinking, right, big performance.
Reaction.
Hopefully the big players will really step up. And in 1 minute, Lloris has thrown the ball in his own net and broken his arm.
Wait, was it a goal, that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a Vicario.
That was it, though, wasn't it? That was the...
And then we had Gazaniga for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started.
Mark Clifford, Portsmouth away, Boxing Day 2003, 2-0 defeat. The stand at Fratton Park didn't have a roof, so I got soaked as the rain lashed in off the English Channel. Daniel Permit, 0-0 Conte Milan, pound for pound.
That was
the worst thing I've ever seen for us, even though I've seen so many. Losing to Grimsby in the League Cup. Yeah, I remember that. What else do we have here?
Tony Sperina says Liverpool under AVB.
That's one of yours, Ab, wasn't it?
Yeah, my dad was crying at the end of that game.
Did someone get sent off? Did Paulinho?
Yeah, Paulinho got sent
got
off,
sent off for...
and AVB got sacked the next day.
Yeah, that was...
Which, necessary evil. If that result had to happen to get that man out of the club, take it.
Josh, JTTID, Tottenham Till I Die. Might be soon the way we're playing. Mura and Zagreb. Obviously, we'll come to Zagreb in a second. Hoddle, Hotspur Sam, the Glenn Hoddle away to Southampton in the Cup. That was one of mine. That was the
4-0.
4-0.
A few days after losing 1-0.
To Southampton, yeah. The Wheel of Doom, which is a great account on Twitter. It's just got the old Spurs Wheel of Doom when they're stuck in the queue. Leeds 5, Spurs 0. Cantona hat-trick. The first hat-trick in Premier League history. Jason Cundy, disaster class. Nick Cowan, I was at the 3-0 defeat away to Ipswich in 2000. One shot. Willem Corsten, their fans singing, it's just like watching Brazil. And we sang back, it's just like watching Gants Hill. One for the Essex crew, Jake. So there's plenty. There's plenty. West Brom 2016, says Ollie. But a few stick out. Dinamo Zagreb losing to a team whose manager's in jail.
That was hideous.
Go on.
That was truly hideous.
There's 2 away games that really stick, just random games. We lost 2-0 in 05-06 to West Brom. And Kanu scored twice and started molesting a ball boy.
When we wore that blue and yellow kit?
Yeah, and Raziak played ahead of Mido. And I don't often feel sorry for footballers, but the amount of stick that Raziak took that night was unbelievable.
Christopher Hall, Vitesse Arnhem away, Brian Hill up front and lost 1-0.
Well, that was the famous Nuno A and B team, wasn't it? When he left the whole first team behind. And
was that not Pacos Ferreira? That's one of my worst.
Pacos Ferreira.
Another really bad one I was at was in 04-05. We lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace.
I was at that.
Palace got about 19 penalties that day.
Away.
Wayne Routledge scored and we signed him.
Danny Granville scored. I mean, that's how bad it got. That was really, really
Andy
the
Johnson
pits.
scored, didn't they?
But you're not true fans going to these games. Jake, your worst?
What I've been at or just that can remember?
Well,
I think Bournemouth this season is up there because, and I said this after the game, that Bournemouth's finishing saved us from possibly our worst ever Premier League result, because if Semenyo could finish that day, we would have lost 6 or 7 comfortably.
That game sticks in my mind.
That was
said before,
absolutely hideous.
I was away. I wanted to have some time off Spurs. I didn't watch City. I'm on holiday. My dad was like, come on. I was like, no, not going to the this bar to watch it. I'm going to just sit by the
We
pool.
were doing well then.
Right. And then Bournemouth came along. I was like, oh, do you know what? Come on, Dad, we'll watch it. We found out we could watch it in the hotel downstairs. And it was just so dreadful. And I know I've joked in the group about that was my moment, but it wasn't. But that was so bad.
Sorry to interrupt. Christopher Hall, I walked out of the Hawthorns after 4 minutes when we were 2-0 down to West Brom. I
Drew
think we actually
3-0.
drew that game 3-0, yeah. 4 minutes, must be the earliest
quite
I've ever
late for
heard
Chris.
anyone.
27 minutes, 3 down at Fulham in the FA Cup, I went.
I was
10
at
men.
that game.
I left.
10 men, Dawson got sent off.
I'd worked on Arsenal Huddersfield in the morning for what would have been Setanta, and I hot-footed it across London to get to Fulham. I was a bit late. I think we were 1-0 down when I got there, and it was 3-0 20 minutes later. I'm like, you know what? I don't need this.
I think I left at
Dembele
half-time
scoring
once.
from 35 yards with his right foot all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I think I left Fulham in 02 or 3. Barry Howell scored. I think it was the game that maybe sacked Glenn Hoddle. I left at half-time.
Yeah, we talked about this. I confused that with the Southampton game.
Which was the actual one that got him sacked.
Oh, yeah, fine. But they were in
Back-to-back,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Barry Howell scored. Yeah.
Flanners, Villa at home on New Year's Day under Conte.
Oh, that was
rotten.
terrible.
That's when he started Brian Gill, I think. We had Kane playing, but maybe Kane was injured.
We've had so many. And as I said, you need to have some gallows humour to be a Spurs fan. And we have it in spades.
Wait, so what was
No,
the
I think
earliest
Brian
you
Gill
left, you two?
started. Brian Gill started when we actually played quite well against Villa under Ange and lost 2-1.
Yeah, we did.
I think he did play.
Earliest I've left, Jake, 27 minutes. At home, I've not walked out of that many games too early. Your 80s for home games.
Had?
I don't leave early for some reason. I probably left sort of as stoppage time ticks over, but I've never really been one for.
Christopher Hall, Jake, people were fighting to get in the grounds. I was fighting to get out.
We need to get Christopher on.
Do you know what? The earliest, this is when we were just actually really good, but in early 2017, under Poch, we were 2-0 down at Anfield, and Mane, I can't even explain what Mane was doing to Ben Davies that day. It was like, he would have been close to being arrested, Mane. It was that brutal. And I said to the boys, if we score again, because we were staying in Liverpool, I said, let's just go. And also Arsenal 24 April 24, we were 3-0 down when I don't even know what was going on when their set piece madness started. Højbjerg was scoring own goals. And I said, I almost wanted us to score again because he was like, we can't really leave at 3 just in case. And we actually lost 3-2. I almost wanted them to score again just so I could leave. And I stayed till the end.
Yeah,
we nearly got a draw.
Same. What else have we got here?
Yeah, Chris is right. The Southampton and Wolves at home. We lost 3-2 to Southampton and 2-0 to Wolves under
Was that
Conte.
just before COVID?
That was Kulu's debut.
No, it was Conte. It was in January, and we still managed to come in the top 4 that season. So you can turn it round.
Pilch 58, 6-1 at Bolton.
That was at mid-90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sheffield United did us 6-0 early 90s.
Oh, I tell you what, I went to Sheffield United in the FA Cup under Conte, Stellini.
That's when he didn't play Kane. Well,
I was
play
there,
Kane.
front row,
my
and it was
God.
freezing.
Was it Illiman and Jai that scored?
Yep.
Like the current Everton player? Yeah.
my God.
God, that was...
Didn't have a
and then
shot.
Kane missed a sitter in the last minute.
Don't remember it.
It was... I drove up by myself, back by myself, and I thought, what on earth am I doing?
Was that when he prioritised that Wolves game?
That we then lost as well.
We lost, and we were dreadful.
I'll shout out my mate Dave Grabina, who's a listener. He drove us up in his Tesla. I think this is why I hate Tesla.
Sheffield United.
So we went up in his Tesla, sat in the front row. It's snowing. It's freezing. We lose 1-0. We don't have a shot. I don't remember the Kane
They were in the
chance.
Championship as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get in the car. He's like, I need to charge it. I'm like, okay, cool. Where do we do that? We had to go north to charge this Tesla, so it's even longer to get home. Great trip. Love him. Whatever. You with your mate, fine. You just want to get home, don't you? And you got to charge a Tesla.
Also,
But,
that day,
it was fun.
I'm pretty sure Sheffield United basically played a reserve
They
team.
did.
so
They
going
weren't
for
strong.
Promotion.
No, they weren't
made
strong.
like 8 changes.
Yeah. I think overall for me, 5-0 down at Newcastle after
that's
20
got to
minutes.
be-
Zagreb and Southampton, that FA Cup game at home. Take your pick. Chelsea 6-1, Bayern 7-2.
The worst one at Newcastle for me was the last day of the 15-16 season. We just needed a point.
And they were relegated.
They were relegated. We needed a point. And a Musa Sissoko left-wing masterclass.
But
for
we
10
signed
man
Sissoko, so it was
Newcastle.
worth it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we did finish above Arsenal, so it was all because of Sissoko.
That is true. That is true.
Which one of you doesn't like Sissoko? Is it?
We both
we
love
both
it.
love it.
Love him. Someone really doesn't. Okay, right. Anything else?
9 minutes I left for that one.
Christopher Hall
Christopher
needs
Hall
to write a
must
book
have-
on this.
Must have been to about 10% of the games he's actually been to.
These
if you
podcasts
actually count up the minutes.
These pods must be great quality. He doesn't leave these early. He's always here to the bitter end of these. It's great.
We had a higher XG in the 7-2.
We probably did have a
No,
higher.
we didn't.
We probably
did.
We probably had a
No,
higher.
we didn't.
What than Bayern?
No, we didn't.
No, well, I mean, I don't think Lloris made even close to a save in that game.
Their goals were incredible.
Yeah.
Every single Gnabry goal was incredible. Lewandowski.
We did not have a higher XG. I'm going to look.
Was XG even really a thing then?
Is it really a thing?
I do actually remember, and it gets easily forgotten. We were sensational in that first half.
We were winning.
We were no. But before the goal,
I know.
we were so good.
Yeah, they should release
Bayern
a
had
DVD.
an XG of 1.36. Spurs was 1.97.
So we did.
We had a penalty which probably skewed it slightly.
No, but we were really good in the
Yeah,
start.
well, they can release a DVD of the first half an hour against Bayern Munich. Okay.
Gave Lloris a new 3-year contract after that game, which was a good move.
Get off your couches. Therapy's closed.
Yeah.
As I
Yeah, look, we
say,
played very well in that.
look out for Adam and I had a chat with Jamie Carragher. That's going to come out this week. Any other business before we end this therapy session?
Are we going to talk about Liverpool?
All right, yeah. Yeah, of course we bloody should. Good point.
I have to.
I just got a message about my car parking tickets. I was like, are we done? So I'm going to do that while I speak to you about Liverpool.
Oh, that as well. Sorry, I'm
Go
so
on.
glad Christopher mentioned that. End of the 0-3-4 season, 5-1 at Borough. And the 4-0, the famous 4-0 at Blackburn.
They're
when
chucking their
people
season
were
tickets.
sitting
You
on the
can-
pitch,
you can
Craig Hignett.
You can
Screamer.
Google image that Spurs fan,
Oh,
and
that
there's
was-
some pictures of the season tickets on the pitch.
Who was manager then?
Hoddle.
If it was 03-04, it was David Pleat.
Yeah, it was.
But was it
Hoddle would have been
02-03?
sat- No, I'll have a look.
I thought Hoddle was in charge against Blackburn.
Because we then appointed the famous Jack Santini.
If it was
didn't
Hoddle, then it was 02-03 because Hoddle got sacked in October 2003, didn't he?
Yeah. Okay, Liverpool. 2 wins in 18 against them. 15 goals conceded against them last season. They are league champions, but not playing like it. They've, won 2 in a row now? No, don't know what they've done.
They're unbeaten in 5.
They're unbeaten in 5.
It
Great.
was 02. Oh no, it was 02-03.
Yeah.
So it would have been Hoddle, yeah. And Hoddle's
How are we feeling about Saturday?
I think we're going to get battered. I've got a really bad feeling that, and not even as, it just strikes me as one of those games where everyone is ready to go off,
Yeah.
and Wirtz will obviously score
Isak.
because
Isak.
Isak will obviously score, and it will be 2-0 or something, and someone will do something really bad. Or
Romero.
Porro
We
will,
played Liverpool.
There'll be a bad square pass, and I just think something's going to go off.
We
on
played
Saturday.
Liverpool 3 years ago at this stage. For some reason, we always seem to play them in December. And Liverpool were not doing very well, 22-23. I have a feeling. I feel like they were on a bit of a bad run. And we were doing reasonably well under Conte, if I'm getting the right season. And Dyer made an absolute howler, which gifted one to Salah. And we were 2-0 down. And I remember going into that game thinking, we've got a really decent chance of beating
It
this.
looks like it was. You talking about 6th of November 2022? Salah 2 goals, Kane pulled one back at the end.
Yeah, maybe it was that. Maybe it was that because we were on a good run, really good start under Conte, and we actually did have a few injuries. We nearly got a draw.
Yeah, they just lost at home in the league. They'd lost at home to Leeds and lost at Forest. Who loses at Forest?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We've just beaten Marseille in the Champions League on Wednesday.
exactly. Liverpool was still close to the top of the league, but I remember thinking we're banging form. Kulu was playing well. It was just before the World Cup, and it was a complete
Yes,
shit
and
show.
then we went to Forest and turned into one of the worst performances ever. Add that to the list in the League Cup.
But we did have about
Yeah, I know.
98 players injured.
Okay, and then we beat Leeds, and then it was the World Cup. I think it's brewing. I think the fans are brewing again on the back of Forest.
They're just, as Ad said, which is not that we want to. We'd rather win, but fans are just ready to go, aren't they?
I think so.
Saturday night, Sky cameras are there.
When they do that stupid huddle at half time to walk off together at 3-0 down.
Listen, they can lose on Saturday, and they could lose, and we're all prepared. And we've seen us lose before, and we'll see us lose again. They lose 2-1, and they're banging on the door, and they play okay, fine. But get a heavy beat.
Salah's not playing, though.
No.
He'll still score a hat-trick.
Yeah, he will, to be fair. He's still got more chance of scoring than some of our
I
players.
feel bad even talking like this because I want to be positive about Spurs.
I know.
But it's just there's just nothing to
I know.
cling to.
I know.
Such a beatable Liverpool team here. They're such a.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will. I think most people are on the same page. We probably will get some comments about being a bunch of negative Nancys, but
I can't work out if Christopher Hall is trolling here.
He's not. He's not. I promise
50
you, he's
minutes
not.
for that League Cup. I mean, I couldn't admire you more.
You have to remember,
That
he
is-
comes from Newcastle for all of these games as well.
Isn't there more reason than to stay?
Christopher Hall, my kind of bloke.
Um,
You should write a book on the minutes you've left games early.
all right. Prediction for Saturday.
Do I really have to say what I actually think?
3-0 Liverpool.
I was going to say 4-1.
Really? You really?
I just think it's going to.
I get told I'm such a pessimist.
But this is not. I know this is
Look
very.
at them. Look at
Nil
the
three.
predictions. People know. Look, 4-0, 4-1.
It's really hard for me to say
0-3,
this is
0-2.
not I'm genuinely. I don't think I'm being pessimistic here, even though I'm saying 4-1 loss. I just think everyone's ready to go off, and the first sign of trouble on Saturday is going to snowball, and it'll be. It's asking too much for anyone to claw out of that situation. This feels like end of days for this regime to me, and I just have. I've seen this before with Tottenham. That 5-0, that wasn't a 5-0 game when we lost to them
Under
under
AVB.
AVB. It was not a 5-0 game, but one became 2, and then Suarez did a madness. Flanagan scored something in the top corner from 15 yards.
Yeah.
Weird things happen in games like this, and it was 6-3 last year, and that could have been 8 or 9-1.
That was we were 6-1 down.
No, we're 4th. It was 5-1, then 5-3.
Oh no, 5-1. Sorry.
And then they just scored again. And
I mean, that was
I
serious.
just worry that it could go off on Saturday.
Listen, the comforting thing is we're not alone, and everyone seems to be on the same page.
Look at the predictions.
Yeah, it's very
Everyone's
sad.
saying
And do you know,
It's sad.
the
It's
most
really
thing, the biggest thing is it's sad. None of us want this.
We
to
all
happen.
hope we turn in a massive performance
Of course we
and beat
do.
Liverpool, and it will be a great atmosphere and a great night. But you know, it's hard to even imagine that. Can you imagine that happening?
One of my favourite ever Spurs moments, well, certainly in recent history, is after the centre-half scored an own goal against 9 men 2 years
That
ago.
was amazing. Joel Matip.
Joel Matip, under Ange,
Oh,
8 or 9
glorious.
games in. And we were in the stadium for half an hour in our seats still celebrating. They were doing laps of honour, and I didn't begrudge it. It was absolutely brilliant. And that's all we want, but it just feels so far from that.
I missed that because my son wanted to go to the loo. I was like, could you not wait another 30 seconds, please?
I'll be down at 12:30.
Chris, see you in the Antwerp. See you in the
Yeah,
Antwerp,
I need to meet.
Christopher.
I need to meet Chris this week. I'll see if I can get
Chris, I'll
get my
see
son to the
you
Antwerp.
in the concourse after 23 minutes when versus just scored his third.
All right, we're back next week. Good news for you is I don't think I'm here. I think I'm at work. So Jake Robson could well be in this chair. That might change
On Monday.
That's a real Roy
Next
Hodgson
week.
dot gif, that isn't it?
All right, remember to look out for the Carragher interview later this week. We will see you next week, and up the Spurs.